Hello, it's been a minute since I've done a video. If you hear chomping in the backgrounds, my two puppies have yak cheese they're chomping on. So that's what you'll hear potentially. I a lot of, a lot has gone on. I think my last video was maybe in September. I had came on and said that I was going to be doing some van camping, and I was going to show you my setup once I got to the first trip that I took. Well, I fell and got hurt on that trip, and I ended up, I had it, the setup was all nice and whatnot, but when I got there, I got all set up. One of the camp neighbors helped me. I was struggling, and so she sent her husband over, and we figured out what I was doing wrong with my tent. The tent attached to the hatch of my vehicle, and it's a nice size. You can stand up in it, and like I put my refrigerator in there and stuff. So that was just because I slept inside my van. I have a cot, and I slept on that, and it got down to like 65 degrees, so it was actually perfect weather for it, because it can be stifling in this area. And so anyway, so blessing number one, this person came over and helped, and the directions were not very thorough, and I think I might have even put that on my review. So even he was like, well, maybe let's try this. So he did, and I'm like, oh, that works. That was it. What he did wasn't anywhere in the instructions, and it was really just one of the poles. And so it's going to be a very simple setup. I had planned on doing a practice setup, but wouldn't you know, it had rained for days and days, and I didn't want it to get drenched in my backyard, so I didn't do a practice setup with it. And so so that was nice. The evening was really nice. I just chillaxed there at the campground, walked around. Actually, my coworker, she was there as well, and so I went to where her site was, met her husband and son, and so and it was, the campground was packed, so which is nice, for me, because safety in numbers, since I was doing it alone. And so then the next day, though, that same camp neighbor had offered to drive me to the trailhead. I was taking my dogs to, there's just like a little small waterfall, and then little smaller waterfalls along the path the trail that I was going to go on. And I was like, no, and then I decided I would just drive to the trailhead, and I did. So, and I parked at the lake, went across the street with my pups, signed in at the trailhead, which, I suggest everybody do that, because, if you ever go missing. But anyway, it was beautiful. The weather was perfect, and saw some copperheads, on the path, and, saw the waterfalls. And as I'm getting towards the end of the trailhead, a group of ladies comes by. I wish I could remember exactly how many. I don't remember. Anyway, they're coming along, and then one of them, we were just sharing some niceties, and so she's getting ready to go on with her group, and I said, well, before you do that, would you mind, taking my pictures with my pups? And there was a little, we're standing in a water bed. Well, they were in the water because they're Boykins and they love it. And so she's up, I'm down low. I'm reaching up to hand her my phone, and my left foot, whoo! It both feet went up, and boom! I came down, and it hurt. I got hurt. So anyway, she comes rushing down there, and at one point she says, don't jump up, don't rush up, or something like that. She was real calm, and I said, I'm not going to. I was writhing in pain, and she says, wait a minute. She goes, one of the people in my group is a nurse, so she comes down. She goes, oh, I think potentially this, that. So anyway, she ended up being correct. I did get hurt. So, but then the sweetest thing, they said, well, we'll walk you back. They asked me, did you walk here or did you drive? I'm like, no, I drove here. I said, I'm parked across the street by the lake. So they go, we'll walk you back. I know, I got this. I didn't have it, but you know how you don't want to accept help from people, and that was what was going on with me right then and there. So I'm muddy. She's like, hey, let me wipe some. I said, it's fine. I have leather seats. I'm going to shower off as soon as I get back to the campground. Well, I knew I had 15 minutes that I could keep the dogs in the car and keep AC running for them. Didn't really need the AC, but and one of them's crated. The other one, she just lays in the car. She's a really good car dog. So in the shower house, I could see it from where I was. So I knew I had to hustle, and I didn't have a lot of hustle in me. I was on the struggle bus at this point. But I went up there and I did. I took a really quick military monkey shower and got back down to my campsite. The vehicle was still running. The dogs were sound asleep. And I ended up, you feel refreshed just doing that. But I got them out and tethered them to the picnic table, and was just sitting there, put a towel in the chair because I'd sat in it for a few moments before I showered, so it was kind of wet and muddy, but I just threw a towel over it, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to have to, and I just was sitting there. I don't even remember how long. That okay, I'm going to have to get some dinner going. So I threw something on the camp stove, and next thing you know, these two ladies, one's a police officer. Oh, we had also, no, they knew what campsite I was at. That's what it was. And one was a police officer, the other was a nurse. And the police officer and I, we ended up exchanging information because she said, look, if you need anything in the morning, she goes, we can come break down for you. I thought, okay. How sweet is that, right? But they had brought 2 plates of food. And so I didn't even finish cooking what I had going, which was great because I didn't have it in me, and I still had another 20-30 minutes for that to cook. And I mean, what a blessing, right? So what they gave me, and I had texted her, thank you. I ate every bit of it, and I did. And it's funny because one was like a bratwurst. I don't even eat pork, but I was hungry. So I ate 2 of them, and I was hungry. So and I was a little concerned I would get a really upset stomach, but I did okay. And it was a delicious meal, and I'm guessing each one of them, I think she said Penny was the name of one. Anyway, God bless them. They were just, it was beautiful what they did for me. But then they said they would come break down for me in the morning. But right across the way from me were some American Heritage girls. So they came by in the morning. They just crossed the road, and they broke down for me. And so that was great too. So I didn't tell a lot of people about it, but of course I got hurt, so then that's obvious. So I had a few people say, well, will you do that again? Because they're like, oh, that's just dangerous. You shouldn't be doing that. And even the hike I went on, it was very populated with people. It was a holiday weekend in September, and it was very populated. There was no sense of being alone. I would not do that. Some people will. I won't. Because my dogs are more, they're Boykin Spaniels. They're not real big. They're not like the German Shepherds I had. And I would probably adventure off more if I had German Shepherd. But it's just really not safe to do that. And me falling and getting hurt is a prime example. You should, anyway, that's the end of that. But all that said, I remember I said I was going to show my setup. Honestly, I didn't have it in me. And it was a nice setup, but it just, I didn't have it in me, so I didn't video it, and so that's that. But the weather here is not awful. Matter of fact, for where I live, this is kind of the best time of year to go do some weekend trips. So, you know, I've got a few coming up, and at that point, then I will. And I'll post them here, but I haven't forgot about YouTube. I just, like I said, got the wind knocked out of me there for a moment. And so I'm doing good and looking forward to, I don't know, seeing where this channel goes. I did start out with like 20 some odd people. I think I'm up to 60. Woohoo! I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And so anyway, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, and I hope the new year is a blessing to each and every one of you, and God bless.